Hey everybody, what is up? My name is Martin and welcome to TripleADigest. So we decided to do a slight throwback to your Mafia 3 days and dedicate a video to a specific character. You remember those days, lads? Good times. But yeah, that character being our main protagonist. If you want any other character covered, we'll see what we can do. Now, realize we don't have enough actual information for a full-fledged, in-depth video like we usually make, because Rockstar are quite tight-lipped, unlike Hangar 13, who shout out spoilers left, right and center. But here's everything we know about Arthur Morgan thus far. Number 1. Dutch's family. Not literally, but you get the point. So it has been confirmed that Arthur was taken under Dutch van der Linde's wing at a very young age. Now the circumstances in regards to how this happens are unknown, and Arthur's relationship with his parents. Clearly Rockstar are saving that reveal for the full game's release. Yet this partially explains Arthur's almost blind devotion to Dutch in the early portions of Red Dead Redemption 2. In his mind at least, he owes Dutch a lot for helping raise him and making him the man he is today. So when the majority of the gang members begin to question Dutch's motivations or the direction he's chosen to take the gang, do expect Arthur to remain at his side, as he wholeheartedly believes in Dutch's vision of a world free of government law, and he contributes to turning Dutch's dreams into reality, at the beginning of the game at least. Number 2, he is second in command. So initially as this game begins, Arthur is Dutch's chief enforcer. He is the authority within the group. Arthur is the man that puts Dutch's plans into action by rallying camp members, keeping the camp fed, leading the heists, recruiting new outlaws, and collecting unpaid debts. Now due to this, and Arthur's history of loyalty, his role in the camp, and his close bond with gang leader Dutch van der Linde, he is practically second in command of Dutch's gang. Yeah, it is Dutch that comes up with the grand plans, and he is ultimately the one who dictates the direction the gang should take and what's the best course of action for the group, or at least for himself. Yet it is Arthur who ensures that members of the camp are behind Dutch's ideas and plans. He is almost the glue or the middleman that keeps this dysfunctional group of outlaws together, meaning he's almost gained more respect and trust from camp members than Dutch himself, because he's willing to put the camp and the needs of those people ahead of himself, which leads to a major burden being placed on his shoulders. Number 3, he is charismatic, threatening, reasonable, yet realistic. Weird characteristics, I know. So within Dutch's gang, there are obviously quite a few eccentric characters who all have large egos, their own personal goals, and their own perspective on what's the best course of action for the camp. And this can lead to conflict and infighting within the camp itself, which then leads to an intervention from Arthur, which comes in the form of in-game missions and side activities, in which you have to go back to camp and sort out this issue. And it has been confirmed that Arthur is very much the mediator of this group of outlaws. And Dutch kinda just does his own thing, so small and large disputes or disagreements between gang members are predominantly resolved by Arthur. So he's clearly charismatic and reasonable, as he's capable of resolving disputes with words in order to keep this group together. Yet when the time comes in which an outlaw's actions have gone beyond the need for words, he is both threatening and violent enough to garner respect and stamps his authority on camp members who are out of line. So some context, this is a group of the most violent outlaws in the heart of America. For a man to gain respect and position himself in a leadership role amongst criminals, he's gotta have a history of being a bad man. Look at me referencing my own intro. So I guess it's up to you, the player, how you want to resolve these issues. Do you stamp your authority through violence and threats, or do you try and see things from their perspective and adopt a diplomatic approach? But I'll make a video that revolves around Dutch's gang and your overall role in the camp a little later. Number 4, and probably the most interesting point, he experiences an existential crisis. Now as Dutch's gang grow more notorious, leading to desperation and to a clear change in Dutch van der Linde's ideals, no longer is it about the little guy robbing from rich men and giving those valuables to the underprivileged. Alongside this, Dutch's vision of a life lived free from the government's rule of law and how freedom can be achieved changes over time. It's been revealed that Arthur Morgan grows more skeptical and begins to not only question Dutch's motivations and those of the specific gang members that continue to follow him, but he also starts questioning if his own life has any real meaning or value. And he starts to wonder if he's simply been led astray for the entirety of his life, meaning he himself has been leading his people, his friends, this band of outlaws he calls family, astray too. So remember that burden on his shoulders I mentioned earlier? There it is, Morgan's regret. Now say from his perspective, Arthur was raised by Dutch to think and act in a specific way, and he's presumably done some awful things due to this blind devotion to Dutch and his goals. He thought that path would lead to a fulfilled life, so a collection of important moments throughout this story will define Arthur and separate Dutch and himself and change Arthur's perspective forever, leading to a path of redemption. See what I did there? So yeah, will he gain redemption? Who knows? I believe a certain government official will have a say in the matter, I'm sure. But yeah guys, that is everything we know about Arthur Morgan thus far, in terms of his background, characteristics, and his overall motivations and his role in this game. So a question for you guys. Let's start a conversation in the comments, shall we? What do you think of Arthur, and do you think he'll actually gain redemption in this game? But as always, thank you so much for watching. Red Dead Redemption 2 will be released October 26th on Xbox One and PS4. And for more Red Dead related content, stay tuned here on our YouTube channel. Later guys, take it easy. Bye-bye.
Yes, everything's absolutely splendid.
Walking down the street and you hear that heavy beat, can't help but walk your feet down the hallway.